Hey guys, welcome to another squad builder with me, your boy FIFA on HD, where we're going to be putting together one unbelievable team featuring tons of high rated players, that some of which you may not have used or may not think to use, especially in the combinations that we are. So it's a very creative and interesting team, and what I love about it is that it only comes in at 350k, so it is pretty affordable, using some very good high rated Premier League players. Obviously, if you do have any suggestions for improving the team, or maybe you want to ask questions about the players that I've used, or maybe you just want to tell me about your team, do all of that in the comments below, as I love reading what you guys have to say as well as answering your guys' questions. And if you do enjoy the video, hit the hell out of that like button, and also the subscribe with that notification bell if you do enjoy the video and are new. So without further ado, we're going to put in the goalkeeper for the team, which is 89 rated Courtois. Absolutely fantastic. This guy is well worth going out and buying if you haven't already. I've been on the fence with high rated goalkeepers. Definitely I choose to spend my coins further up the field when I can, especially if funds are limited. So I've just been making do with like decent rated, 83s, 84 goalkeepers, and they've been doing okay for me. But this guy is definitely worth that extra bit of coinage, because he makes saves that you just didn't think were possible. Moments where they're through one-on-one, or they've almost got a tap in and you've just given up, you just think, well, that's a goal. He still saves it. He still finds a way to save it. He is that good. The amount of flashy saves he makes, and then also match-winning saves, is just unreal. He definitely keeps you in games, keeps you winning them, and he makes some unbelievable saves, both for the cameras and that just you would expect to go in. So overall, well worth going out and buying, and I was really impressed with Courtois in both his positioning and the saves that he made, but also the way that he distributed the ball was also fantastic. Now we're going to move on to the right back position now, and the lowest rated player in this team, but definitely a solid pick, is Bellerin. I love his pace. 95 pace is absolutely insane. He's also got really good dribbling and physicality, decent defence as well. He's just a very solid player that makes great recovery runs, but also going forward, especially in this team, the fact that there's no wingers and the way that the custom tactics and everything are set up, he is just absolutely incredible and does a very good job at getting goals, getting involved in those attacks, as you will see in a couple of goals that he did score for me. And overall, I was just really impressed with him. We move on to centre-back now, and we're going to put the two in, and we're going to put Azpilicueta in, and then we're going to put Vincent Kompany. I will talk about Azpilicueta first. What I loved about him was that pace. 79 pace on a centre-back is absolutely unreal. And while there are better centre-backs out there in the game across the leagues, he is definitely right up there with some of the best. 85 rating overall is very nice, and he possesses some very good stats. Obviously the pace is brilliant for making recovery runs, but also catching up to players before they even have a chance to turn. Being on the front foot with his defending is very good, and he does that very well. Makes some incredible tackles, good timing, good interceptions, decent in the air, not too shabby there either, which is always good. Overall, with his defence and physicality and the pace, he is a solid defender, and once he wins the ball back, which he inevitably will, he's also got super amazing passing and dribbling for a defender, whereby he can play it out very comfortably indeed. Now we move on to Kompany. A solid pick. 85 overall is a solid rating. His stats maybe aren't quite as enticing as Azpilicueta, hence why he is a fair bit cheaper, and a lot of people will probably avoid using this card, but let me tell you, he is well worth going out and trying. 63 pace is okay, it's decent, it's usable, and then he's got very strong defence and physicality, great in the air, very strong in game, good positioning, great tackles, a very solid defender that I would highly recommend. At left back, we have Danny Rose. 82 rated, very solid pick, quite cheap as well. 81 pace, very nice. 81 defence, also really good. So great for going forward, great at getting back. In a similar way to Bellerin, not quite as quick obviously, but if you use the shadow chemistry style as I have, you can boost that somewhat. Good use of the ball, 63 shooting, 73 passing, 77 dribbling is very nice. And as you can see, he joined in the attacks well. He defended with the team very, very well too, and just overall was a solid player to use, one that I highly recommend. Now at central midfield, we're going to put all three in one go, and we're going to put David Silva, then we're going to put Kante, and then we're going to put Dele Alli. Now I will start off by talking about David Silva, who, again, this falls in line with how this team is put together and why it's an interesting team, because there are certain high-rated players that people wouldn't use, and I wanted to use them in a team all together to see that if skill really could just beat raw ability and raw attributes like pace and things like that, and it definitely does. Having players like David Silva who can use the ball well, who's got a great range of motion, he's, you know, not the quickest, yes, but 68 overall is definitely usable. He's got a good range of shooting, 72 is not too shabby at all. But where he really excels is his passing and his dribbling. He can use the ball so comfortably, he keeps it well, and he is able to feed those front three very well indeed, time and time again. Kante, on the other hand, is definitely the engine room for the team. The guy that wins the ball back, gets the team moving, provides a screen in front of that back four, which is very valuable indeed. Obviously, with the way that I play this guy and the instructions that we'll see later, he is the most defensive within this team. He's in the heart of the middle of the pitch, and he does a very good job protecting, but also driving the team forward, because not only do I win the ball back with him, but you'll see many occasions where I get the ball with him, but I also drive forward because he's got a good pace to him. 81 pace is absolutely phenomenal, both for tracking back and for carrying the ball. He's got solid dribbling at 80. Really good, and decent range of passing at 75, so he can definitely carry it forward once he's won it back and use it well. Dele Alli, a real good all-rounder, feels much better defensively than his stats might suggest. He has got a bit of strength to him and definitely chips in the defensive side of things very well, but also really good going forward, great range of shooting, good pace, decent set of passing, and very good dribbling. A player that I would highly recommend too. Now at centre attacking mid, we have another high-rated player in terms of Mesut Ozil. Probably the best player in this team that you would say, maybe other than Kante or Azpilicueta, where they have everything they need for this position. There's no compromise at all. 71 pace is really good for the cam position. His shooting is solid, and his range of passing and dribbling are just absolutely phenomenal, especially in this position with the way this team plays. It is all about passing, it's all about that interchange, and he does that very well. Perfect for the triangle type game plan where you bounce the ball between each other, as you will see, especially with some of the goals that the strikers scored. That was really effective, and Ozil was a key part of that. He's great for scoring goals, great for making them as well, and just a really solid, high-rated player that I would advise you to go out and try. Now we're going to move on to the two strikers now. We'll put both in, and we've got Kane at right striker, and then we have Zlatan Ibrahimovic. So as you can see, it's an interesting team that you would probably never think to play Zlatan and Kane together, because neither of them are very fast. People probably wouldn't pick David Silva over maybe Christian Eriksen and you know, a few other players that you could choose. But they all come together superbly well. And I'll start off by talking about Kane, and you will see this in the goals that Kane scored. The way the team interlinks with each other, the way that they bounce the ball off each other, and just the movement overall, because of the range of passing, because of the intelligent attack positioning, is just insane. And Kane really does make some fantastic runs, whereby the likes of Ali, Ozil, David Silva, and even Kante can find them so well. He makes superb movement, and when he gets himself in front of goal, even when he's from distance, he finds the back of the net with some sheer power and accuracy every single time. The goals that he and Zlatan scored were belter after belter after belter. They also did the scruffy tap-ins and things like that too, don't get me wrong. But the amount of amazing goals that this team scored, because the passing was so good and the ability that they have is so good, especially Kane and Zlatan, for scoring from distance, is just unreal. I love the fact that even though he is not the most gifted in terms of pace. He's got a decent range of dribbling, he's got good strength, he's good aerially, but his shooting overall and the way that he moves is just breathtaking, and I would highly recommend going out and using 86 Kane. Now, Zlatan, many people I've seen have been disappointed with this card this year, not liked it as much, but let me tell you, if used in the right way and in this team specifically, he is a monster. He is just as good as the previous Zlatan cards that we've seen and we have loved over the years. The pace is always an issue. I've put the Hunter chemistry style on him, probably doesn't do an awful lot, but I don't run the ball with him. The great thing with him is the fact that he's got solid dribbling, he's got really good shooting and a great range of passing, so his link-up play is so good. He can keep the ball very well, and the amount of times where people expected him to pass or maybe do something different, and you were able to just keep turning with his amazing dribbling, which frees up that space for then to take away with his amazing shooting, and it just goes in the back of the net. He is a breathtaking striker in this game, and this whole team together is amazing. On paper, and in theory, it's not quite as good as a lot of others. Yes, it's got a high rating, but there are certain players that you would say, well, I wouldn't use Company, I wouldn't use David Silva, I wouldn't use Zlatan and Kane together. But the way it combines is just unreal, and I have not had this much fun on FIFA for quite some time. We will have a look at the player instructions now, and as you can see on the strikers, we've got stay central and get in behind. We've got stay forward on Ozil, and we have stay back while attacking on Kante, as well as aggressive interceptions. Nothing on anyone else and nothing on the fullbacks. They get forward all by themselves, so I wouldn't suggest doing anything there. So now we are going to have a quick look at the custom tactics, and this is very important, and this is where it all comes together for me. This is what makes maybe a team that on paper doesn't look quite like it would work, where it works, because of the way this is set up. Speed at 50, we're not about pace. We've not got tons of pace in the team, that does not matter. So speed is just left normal at 50. Passing is where the real key is. 80 on the passing, both in build-up play and chance creation, is what sets this team apart, because we've got such good players with great range of passing, all the way from defence, midfield and the strikers. They can all find each other well, and by having passing so high, they make really good runs. There's always triangles open to create good passing, which creates so many opportunities for those forward-thinking players. Crossing, we've got no wingers, so that's lower there at 35. Shooting high there at 70, as we want to create lots of shooting opportunities for the likes of Kane and Zlatan. Positioning and organised, pressure there at 55. Aggression high there at 70. We want to win the ball back and get it into those players, and the team width there at 35, and defensive line of cover. So that was the team, guys, and it's a very interesting set of players, a very interesting team, one that I really enjoyed using and would highly recommend you go out and try. If you do enjoy the video, as always, please hit that subscribe button, hit the like button as well, and peace.